Engine start valve manual operation is a little different from new engines. First things first, to ensure safety of the ground crew, pilots have to start the affected engines first. Dear guests, welcome back to the channel. Today, let us talk about an engine start valve manual operation. Most of the time, the FedEx does a great job in starting the engines automatically, which significantly reduces the pilot's workload. Do check out my video on A320 refresher series on engine start. Once in a while, you will get an issue where the start valve failed to open to provide pressurized air to start the engine. In this case, take out the FCOM and have a look at the supplementary techniques section under engines. I will go through the procedure with CEO powered aircrafts, and thereafter we will check out the new engine option on neo powered aircrafts. Okay, before the engine start, advise the ground crew to prepare for a manual engine start valve operations. Pilot have to start the affected engine first. Audio control panel set to cabin. You will be talking to the engineer via the audio jack at the engines. Request for ground crew clearance, and when the ground crew is ready, announce engine 1 start. Set the engine mode selector to ignition and switch on the engine master switch. Order the ground crew to open start valve and keep open. If the start valve is not maintained in the open position by the ground crew, the start valve will close. When N2 is at 50%, order to close the start valve and then perform your after start scan. Now let us look at engine start valve manual operation is a little different from new engines. First things first, to ensure safety of the ground crew, pilots have to start the affected engines first and then use APU bleed to supply the air to the engines. The use of external pneumatic power is prohibited. Okay, audio control panel to cabin for communication. APU on, APU bleed on. Obtain the ground crew clearance. There are two procedures. One is if the start valve is failed closed, and the other is if the start valve is failed open. Let's start with the start valve failed close procedure. When the ground crew is ready, announce engine 1 start. Engine mode selector to ignition. Engine man start push button on. If it is an automatic start, the EEC will abort the start if the start valve failed to open. That is why we have to switch it to manual start. Order open start valve and keep open. Make sure that the ground crew maintain it in an open position. When N2 reaches maximum motoring speed, the minimum being 20%, and also 1 minute after the engine man start push button is set to on, switch on the engine master switch. When N2 is slightly above 63%, order close start valve. When the avail indication is displayed, engine man start push button to off. Now, if the start valve is filled in an open position, it is fairly simple. When the ground crew is ready, announce engine 1 start. Engine mode selector to ignition and engine masters on. When N2 is slightly above 63%, order to close the start valve and resume your normal after start scan.